Hello, my friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family. So we have Florida declaring a state of emergency in 26 counties as Tropical Storm Michael approaches. And if we look at what they're saying, we could be looking at major Hurricane Michael. As it's showing here out of NOLA, the potential to become a Category 3 hurricane in the Gulf of Mexico. And so if it makes impact as a Category 3, this will be the largest hurricane of the season in the Atlantic to impact the U.S. As so far we've only had Florence, but of course Florence was a disaster of huge proportions. And it was only a Category 1 when it made impact. Now, of course, this year has been a year of damage by water, and so the good point is currently it's looking like this is a much faster moving storm. So as far as like sitting in one place and just dumping tons and tons of water, at the moment, that doesn't appear to be the case. Of course, nothing would surprise me these days. Nothing at all. As we've seen tremendous changes. Just yesterday, they were not really talking about this becoming a major hurricane. It was going to be a borderline tropical storm with the possibility of maybe topping out at a Category 1 status. And now all of a sudden it can become a Category 3 hurricane. So Governor Scott is basically acting appropriately and declaring a state of emergency for 26 counties as Tropical Storm Michael will become Hurricane Michael and possibly become Major Hurricane Michael. And so anybody anywhere along the Gulf Coast of Florida all the way over to the eastern Texas and Louisiana should be awake right now and prepared for this. And Tropical Storm Michael has been lashing western Cuba and is forecast to become a hurricane later today as it heads towards the U.S. And so it's basically threading the needle. And if we look at its location, you could see right here, it's exactly where it needs to be in order to make it through into the Gulf without weakening. And so it's exactly where it needs to be to take advantage of these warm waters, which are still in the mid-80s, 84, 85 degree water, which is going to be able to feed the storm and help it to rapidly intensify. And so this is one we really have to watch carefully. And so everybody there, if you're anywhere from the Gulf Coast of Florida all the way over to eastern Texas, keep your eyes open. We've seen wild changes with things. We've seen things that were not projected to happen with storms. Anything kind of goes. This is definitely something to keep your eyes on. And now it's expected to reach Category 2 or Category 3, and as it says right here, Category 2 or stronger. They're kind of leaving that open as it churns over the Gulf of Mexico in the next couple of days, according to the National Hurricane Center advisory. And so the National Hurricane Center said it could become a Category 3 storm, which is a major hurricane. And the center projects the storm will hit somewhere in the Florida Panhandle on Wednesday or early Thursday morning. And at 7 a.m. Monday advisory, the center said Michael was about 120 miles northeast of Cozumel, Mexico, with maximum sustained winds of 70 miles an hour, which is just about a hurricane. The storm was moving north at 7 miles per hour. It's moving slowly northward towards the Yucatan Channel, according to the most recent tracking information. The Hurricane Center warned the storm could produce a foot of rain in western Cuba, potentially triggering flash floods and mudslides in mountainous areas. And so we're going to watch this. Florida Governor Rick Scott again has basically declared state of emergency in 26 counties. Everybody's got to get ready. Scott warned that Michael could reach land as a Category 2 hurricane with winds in excess of 100 miles an hour, and actually it could be higher than that. The storm has potential to bring devastating impacts to communities across the Panhandle and Big Bend, and every family must be prepared. Scott activated 500 National Guard troops in advance of the storm. Everybody's got to get ready. Don't take a chance. We're going to get storm surge. We're going to have wind. We're going to have a chance of flooding. And we're going to have a significant chance of tornadoes. And so this is a listing of the counties right here. I'll have all the links for you guys as always. A hurricane warning is in effect for Cuba right now. You actually have some of the candidates adjusting their campaign schedules because of this as well, especially notably Andrew Gillum, who has canceled his events and is going to head back to to Tallahassee. And so the other thing that this is going to do is also it's going to bring rain over into the Carolinas and Georgia. And of course the Carolinas have been reeling from everything that's going on. So if we look at where this is going to end up, right now this is where they have it projected to hit. And so it's going to be hitting in the Panhandle, probably somewhere between Panama City and Pensacola, according to the latest info. So that can change. If you're in this area, definitely be prepared. Although, of course, it wouldn't take much to nudge it out into Mobile or Biloxi, Mississippi, Gulfport even. And then there's always the possibility it could go more easterly track and head closer towards Tampa. So be aware of all these possibilities, my friends. And we've been talking about the need to have yourself prepared with your bug-out bags, with your emergency supplies, your food, your water, whether you have a generator or not of some sort, alternate lighting in case the power goes out. Chances are there are going to be power outages associated with this storm. So everyone, especially on the Gulf Coast there, be aware of that, as this one has the potential to have some strong winds with it. And also, again, in the Carolinas, everybody that has been, impacted by Florence, you got more rain that's definitely going to be coming your way as well, apparently, by the way that this is going to track. And so, if we look currently, you can see there's still 3 storms out there, Leslie, Michael, and Sergio. And Sergio is going to be coming in and impacting Baja. Leslie, it appears, is going to track north towards Western Europe, and it's unclear really if it's going to impact anything as of yet. It's been a bizarre storm, just sitting out there for what seems like a month or more. It feels like it. But if we look over here, this is Ventuski again. Go one more day out. You see Michael coming in, threading the needle, going exactly where it needs to get stronger. Wednesday night, it's just coming up short in the Panhandle. Sergio's making its way towards Baja. Thursday, Sergio closing in on Baja. Michael is now up in Georgia, South Carolina, delivering rain. And then Michael's basically gone by Friday. And Friday you see a landfall for Sergio over Baja. And then Saturday, Sergio is bringing rains to the southwest. And if we look back at Leslie, we see Leslie is basically heading towards Portugal and then zooms up on Saturday to be off the coast of Ireland. So everybody up in this whole area here should watch her as well, because there's the potential there for definitely a severe storm as well. And then Sunday she is cleared. So my friends, be really careful out there. The tropical season is still ongoing, and it's October 8th. Not unheard of, but as always, be aware of the potential for all these things. And if we look at the GFS ensemble, again, this is reiterating, we have some that are showing it making a landfall over in New Orleans, over through Louisiana. And there's even a couple over here, models showing a hit and a landfall just above Tampa. So everybody, in the Gulf Coast, this is a big heads up. Be prepared. Again, be ready with your food, your fresh water. Be ready to have no electricity for some days, maybe even weeks. You never know. It shouldn't be that strong, but we can't trust these things. We really can't. We always should prepare for the worst and expect and pray for the best. And stay safe in these times, and work with your neighbors. Get together with your neighbors, whether you live in an urban setting, a suburban setting, or a rural setting. Know who your neighbors are. Find out what their plans are when things hit the proverbial fan. And, it's good to work together. We need to build stronger communities together. We need to basically respond to these things together as a unit, as a whole, together. And I was talking to a friend who is actually doing relief work out there in North Carolina, and talking about the devastation that's there. They're still taking trees off of cars and houses. They're still seeing tons of dead fish wash up on the shores. It's still a real mess. They have a mosquito inundation like you wouldn't believe out there right now. And so those areas are going to get some more rain, which is not really needed at the moment. But everybody, all our friends and family out there in Florida and Mississippi and Alabama and Louisiana, Georgia as well, be prepared. Stay safe, my friends. Take care. God bless and namaste.